Shalom, everyone. I'm going to be reading out of the first book of Adam and Eve, chapter 9 and 10. Then Adam and Eve came out of the cave of treasures and went near to the garden gate, and there they stood to look at it, and cried for having come away from it. And Adam and Eve went from before the gate of the garden to the southern side of it, and found there the water that watered the garden from the root of the tree of life, and that split itself from there into 4 rivers over the earth. Then they came and went near to that water, and looked at it, and saw that it was the water that came forth from under the root of the tree of life in the garden. And Adam cried and wailed and beat his chest for being severed from the garden, and said to Eve, "Why have you brought on me, on yourself, and on our descendants, so many of these plagues and punishments?" And Eve said to him, "What is it you have seen that has caused you to cry and to speak to me in this manner?" And he said to Eve, "Do you not see this water that was with us in the garden, which watered the trees of the garden and flowed out from there? And we, when we were in the garden, did not care about it, but since we came to this strange land, we love it and turn it to use for our body." But when Eve heard these words from him, she cried, and from the soreness of their crying, they fell into that water, and would have put an end to themselves in it, so as never again to return and behold the creation. For when they looked at the work of creation, they felt they must put an end to themselves. This is chapter 10. Then Elohim, merciful and gracious, looked at them thus lying in the water and close to death, and sent an angel who brought them out of the water, and laid them on the seashore as dead. Then the angel went up to Elohim, was welcome, and said, "O Elohim, your creatures have breathed their last." Then Elohim sent his word to Adam and Eve, who raised them from their death. And Adam said, after he was raised, "O Elohim, while we were in the garden, we did not require or care for this water, but since we came to this land, we cannot do without it." Then Elohim said to Adam, "While you were under my command and were a bright angel, you knew not this water. But now that you have transgressed my commandment, you cannot do without water, wherein to wash your body and make it grow, for it is now like that of beasts, and is in want of water." When Adam and Eve heard these words from Elohim, they cried a bitter cry, and Adam entreated Elohim to let him return to the garden and look at it a second time. But Elohim said to Adam, "I have made you a promise. When that promise is fulfilled, I will bring you back into the garden, you and your righteous descendants." And Elohim ceased to commune with Adam. Shalom.